In this video, we're going to show you how to set the minimum and maximum dials for vacuum. You will need to turn the system to configuration mode and set it to inject off of vacuum. By default, it's going to display vacuum, it's going to display boost, and it's going to inject based on boost. To make it inject based on vacuum, you have to set parameter number 2 to the vacuum mode, which is parameter number 2 would be turned to 002 and save it. That would make it vacuum. Now, you'll notice that right now we're at -7 psi. This is approximately 14 inches of mercury. We're going to set the minimum and maximum dial. So let's say we want the start to be -7 and we want the full to be -3. This would put it at about 14 and 6 as far as inches of mercury goes. So that's how that would work. Now you'll notice that the duty cycle bars are not lit up. And it may look on the video like some of them are lit up, but that's actually the backlighting. When you're looking at it in your car, you'll actually see that it's the angle that it's at. It's not actually lit up. So why hasn't it started? Well, your system will not inject. It reads where you are at idle. So when it first starts, it reads your vacuum at idle, and it knows never to turn on at that vacuum. So you actually have to be lower than that, meaning you have to accelerate before it will turn on. So you can't even adjust it to turn on at your whatever your vacuum is. So we're going to introduce more vacuum right now, and of course as we do this, it's not going to turn on because now we're higher than that start point. But let's release some of the vacuum. Well, as we released it all the way down to 0, if you look, you'll notice all the bars are all lit up at this point. That's because you're now at 100% duty cycle. As I start introducing a little bit of vacuum, you're going to notice some of the bars are going away because right now you're reducing vacuum. Excuse me, I'm introducing vacuum, meaning I'm as your vacuum increases, your flow is going to decrease. And as your vacuum increases, your flow is going to decrease. It's opposite of boost. So it may sound a little bit strange and it may be confusing, but that's how it works. Since it's opposite of boost, as you draw less vacuum, you're going to flow more. And you'll notice as the vacuum is increasing, the bars on the duty cycle, again, are decreasing. And now we're back to where we were at idle. So we're idling, and it's not going to turn on. No matter what you do to set the minimum and maximum right now, you cannot make it turn on. Again, that's a safety feature. But assuming you hit the floor and you've accelerated right now, you're at 100% duty cycle because you floored it, and and you're crazy with the gas pedal, I guess. Anyway, as we begin to decelerate, you're going to notice it starts to flow less. And now let's go all the way back. So we can pretend now, just as one more thing, that we're sat here at -8, nothing's happening. Release some of the pressure. I'm using a midi vac here, so it's kind of giving you a little bit of an idea. So now we're at 100% duty cycle. So, in real life, as you're accelerating and decelerating, the flow is changing and it's making sure that you cannot turn on at idle. That's the most important thing that you have to remember. It's designed really to save your engine. Okay? That's basically what we have with this one. And you can, again, it's very important to remember how to set the minimum and maximum dial. We had the maximum at 7 and the minimum around. We had the maximum dial around 3 or 4, and we had the minimum at 7. So, in that particular, you always want to remember that the higher vacuum you want to have is where you're going to set your minimum dial. So that would be around wherever you want to set it, 15, 16 inches of mercury. And your maximum dial is where it's going to be where you accelerate to as your vacuum decreases. So the smaller vacuum number is going to be on the maximum. That's a little bit hard to understand and wrap your brain around, but once you do it a few times, you'll figure it out and you'll get into the routine and be able to do that. If you set the dials by accident in reverse, the system will never turn on. Thank you.